Welcome to Noise and Nonsense, the podcast where the volume is always cranked to 11 and the conversation is sometimes, well, nonsensical. We're here to celebrate the loud, the weird, and the unapologetically noisy. Whether it's punk, rock, metal, shoegaze, or whatever else may be rattling your speakers. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm David.
Here with us today is Salem and Jaden of Final Girl.
How are you all doing?
Good, you guys?
I'm all right.
Great.
Good.
Would you like to introduce yourselves and what you do in Final Girl?
Hi, I'm Jaden. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the guitarist in Final Girl.
I'm Salem, they, them, and I'm the vocalist.
Wonderful. And who from Final Girl are we missing today?
So we're missing 3 members. Bevan, our bass player, Sarah, our drummer, and Liam, our keyboardist. Bevan uses any pronouns, Sarah, they, them, Liam, he, him.
Perfect. Well, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, why don't you, one of you, tell us a little bit about Final Girl?
You started it.
Oh, yeah. It started when Salem and I were still in high school. I was really bored with what I was doing. I had been in a band for a while, but I was starting to just get tired of all of that, and I wanted to play something a little bit more aggressive. So I was just like sitting in class, and I was like, hey, I like just like talked to a couple of my friends, and I was like, hey, do you want to just like get together tonight and just do something? And then I realized that I really didn't want to do vocals. So I asked my girlfriend, and so that's why Salem's in the band.
Well, so it was supposed to be like a Smiths-style band. That's what they told me when I joined. It was, so Liam, Bevan, and Sarah were not original members. It was 2 of our classmates at the time. We had been in an audio class with, our school had this like pep band thing. And it was just like, the best musicians only can be in this band. And so the original drummer, we didn't have a keyboardist originally, but the original drummer and the original bass player were just 2 of the kids that were in that band and also in that class. So
Yeah.
But then when we started playing, as it turns out, when you get a metal drummer and a metal bass player in a band, you don't make the Smiths.
No, you don't make indie, you don't make any jangle pop.
Yeah.
You just kind of get really loud all the time.
But I'm a goth person, so it kind of turned into that. And then they had to leave because they got busy. It was nothing bad. It was just one of them's still a senior in high school.
Okay.
So
Well, so I looked you guys up on, I can't remember the name of I looked at your Instagram page, but it said you started out in Central Indiana and then moved to Bloomington. Did the whole band start there and move here, or did you find the rest of the band in Bloomington?
So, we started in Central Indiana, and then we moved to Bloomington because I'm going to school right now here at IU. None of the band wanted to move, so we all commuted to and from shows, and it just kind of became a nightmare because we're having...
couldn't move.
Yeah, they couldn't move. One's still in high school. He's not even... I don't even know if he's 18 yet. And the other one, works 3 jobs, and it just didn't make sense for him to move. His business in, doing, recording
Videography.
video and stuff like that is based in our hometown. So he just didn't want to leave, which is completely valid. So we just kind of picked people up when we got here. Originally, a friend of ours who's now in the band Lotus Garden was playing bass for us just as like a fill-in because our bass player just could not make it to shows. And then our drummer stopped being able to come to shows, so we had to find a fill-in drummer. And then eventually that fill-in drummer just became the drummer, and the fill-in bass player left.
And now we have a new one. I think
He's going to be here for a while.
He's definitely the right fit for the band. So
Everybody's the right fit. It's been really good. Everybody's always been the right fit, but I think the sound has evolved into something that we're really passionate about. And I think it took all of those people being there to really get it to be what it is.
yeah, so nobody left on bad terms or anything. It's just we picked up speed once we got here pretty quickly, and it was kind of hard to keep up with. Because we just, not to say that we're like popular, but we definitely got more popular than we expected, faster than we expected.
Yeah.
Nice. When did you arrive in Bloomington?
I got here in like late July, early.
August.
Yeah.
August.
August. Like,
August 10th is when you moved here.
yeah, I moved here August 10th, and then I had been working sound for like a bar/venue in Indianapolis called Natural State Provisions, who
Rest in peace.
no longer does shows, unfortunately. But I had met Early Grey there, and we were just like, hey, can you guys help us out when I move?
Did go to college.
Yeah. And they were like, yeah, totally. And so they ended up asking us to play a bill like
October.
yeah. We had started planning it in like August, like I think right after I moved.
Perhaps.
Here. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. And then we made a bunch of friends. And so we're just kind of like here now. We were like saying that we were based in Indy still and like in central Indiana just because of like where we were getting a lot of gigs. But then we just kind of were like, well,
No, we've only ever played one show in Indy.
we played one show in Indy, but that was like it for a while.
Yeah. Well, you all just played in Evansville, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Ugh,
Nice.
that was fun.
Yeah.
Evansville is interesting. They're cool. Your Brother's Bookstore is cool. We've made some really good friends there. Tearful Warning, they're really cool. We also met them when they played a show in Indianapolis.
Yeah. But this is the first time we'd ever played with them, but we've known them since like June.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they've definitely grown a lot since the last time we had seen them.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
How would you all describe your sound?
describe it. She stresses too much about it. It's really not that serious.
I'm a
Yeah,
huge
it's-
like genre person.
This is like maybe one of the most like awkward questions we ask because
We're
everyone
goth
feels the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're goth rock. We take inspiration. We're goth rock. We mix a bunch of the different goth sounds that exist, like death rock, gothic metal, the typical like the Cure goth that people think of. But we are goth rock, and they stress too much about if we're really goth. We are, and it's really not that stressful. I'm the only goth person in this band, so I think they should listen to me. But
I don't know. I don't know.
it stresses me out that you stress out about it, because it's really not.
Because I don't take any real, like, I take inspiration from goth bands, but I listen to a lot more, like,
You listen to Lou Reed. That's like the blueprint. So
I
think
do
that
listen to
still
a lot of the
counts.
Velvet Underground. Yeah, that's fair.
Also, just because you don't doesn't mean that the band is not.
Fair.
It's kind. That's
you make
not
a
how
good
that
point.
works.
Yeah, you make a good point.
Well, talking about some influences here, it's a good segue. What have you listened to in your past that have led you into the creation of the music in Final Girl?
I started listening to the Velvet Underground in like when I was like 13, which I really shouldn't have been listening to it, but I was. And I was just like, I got really excited because I was like, wow, I could do something like this. And then I never stopped thinking I could do something like that. And then I was in a bunch of bands that sounded absolutely nothing like it. And then I just kind of got here, but I don't know. I listened to a lot of that, and Neutral Milk Hotel, and a lot of like psychedelic and noise music. That's kind of where I'm coming from. A lot of that and like disco and dance. But that's kind of my background.
I take a lot of inspiration from, like The Cure and all those bands, Sisters of Mercy, Bauhaus. I'm repping the shirt today, the Bauhaus shirt. But also I take a lot from Christian Death, Scarlet's Remains, Bloody Dead and Sexy. They followed me back on Instagram personally, which makes me feel really cool.
Nice.
And Moshlat Doma, Joy Division, a lot of those bands. One of my favorite comedic goth bands ever is the Scary Bitches. If you've never heard the Scary Bitches, they are so funny. They make like the sound of their music is very serious, like traditional like goth music, but then like you listen to the lyrics and it's like really funny. So I would recommend listening to them if you haven't. Like they're not serious, but every time I laugh, they're really good. So I am very much tied in true goth. I like Typo Negative, which is more doom metal-y, but a lot of the same themes. So that's a lot of my inspiration when it comes to Final Girl. I also listen to bands like Deftones and like Korn, and I think probably those also seep in a little bit just because I like them. But
Need to sneak some scatting in to Final Girl.
I think that'd be awesome. I want to make random noises on stage. That'd be awesome.
I don't think so. Pierce right through me before ensnaring my heart. Fell apart at the seams, holding on to something. But before the pulpit, please forgive me. Fell apart at the seams, holding on to something. But before the pulpit, please forgive me. Was I a fool to search for more? A scandal in a loaded gun. Will this be the end, or am I damned? What happens next as her shapes grab my wrist? Grab my wrist.
Now that you have your water bottle, I'm a little worried about the random noises that.
I'm so sorry. This is my first time like getting an actual interview, and I'm like, oh, geez, water.
Yeah.
Oh no, drink away. You're
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. So, you all are new here in town. So, where do you practice? Like,
My dorm. I live.
that's fun.
Yeah. So I practice in my dorm. They have like
A little
A-
practice space.
they have a little practice
okay.
space, and we just kind of take it over twice a week, which is probably
cool.
like a terrible
Not
thing
even.
to do to the like just like kind of take that away from people. But we,
Well, like, what is it there for practicing? Is
yeah,
that
that's
what-
fair.
Yeah.
You make a
that's
good
what
point.
we're doing.
You make a good point.
So is
There
it
were
ju- is-
servable
yeah,
faces.
So just a
spaces.
music like practice space, or
Yeah.
like that's fun.
It's a little music practice space. We sit there, we play for a little bit, and then we do other things. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's what the space is for.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fair.
I was a building manager over the residential centers for many years, and I would never be upset at that.
Yeah.
It's one of the great resources on campus, especially. I was in Reed, and there's like 30 practice rooms in that building.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, nobody's ever been there when we're there, except
No.
for once, but we let them finish, so it's
Yeah.
we're not taking it away. We're not honestly there for that long, but that is where we practice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What does a typical Final Girl practice look like?
Everybody shows up. We run. Well, right now, just with the kind of shifting lineup, we're kind of getting back into place a little bit, just because there's been so many changes these past couple months. But a lot of it right now, with just how many shows we've been playing, it's just sit down, run through the set, maybe write something if we have some time, and then run the set again, see if we have any errors or something or anything we want to try, and then go home, go do something else. We'll usually go get coffee afterwards or something.
I don't drink coffee.
They don't drink coffee, but I'll drink coffee. I'll go get coffee afterwards.
I'm just there for support.
Yeah, we just we'll rehearse for a little bit, we'll hang out, we'll talk, and then we all kind of go our separate ways for the rest of the week, and we do our things. All of us are full-time students, besides Salem here, who commutes from the Indianapolis area every weekend, so we're very lucky that the Greyhound bus system still works.
Beautiful day for public transportation.
True.
There's a new song title for you.
I'll write it down.
Yeah.
Well, what if she wanted to write that song?
No,
Oh,
I
true.
I didn't say it, so it's not mine to write.
Cannot claim that.
No.
I'm going to copyright it and then write it outside of Final Girl so that Final Girl can't use it.
And then I'll make $1 million.
Because I'm evil.
Does a Final Girl have any pre-show rituals that you all do together?
I beat them all up.
Unexpected answer.
Yeah, no. What are the pre-show rituals? We all kind of
I would say
be
I don't
anxious.
think no. Well, maybe
Me.
yeah. No, I don't think we really have one. I mean, before every show, Jaden goes, "What if it fails? What if what if it's all bad?" And I go, "No."
Yeah, a lot of it is just we'll show up, we'll hang out for a bit, we'll sound check, and then we'll just play through the set.
I don't beat them up, by the way.
No,
Just
they
as
beat
a
me.
disclaimer.
Don't say that. This podcast is gonna make me look so bad.
Final Girl is canceled.
Yeah.
They're like, "Wow, Salem's a real jerk."
Everyone stands very far from you at shows.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I scare people.
Yeah, that's fair. That does happen a lot where people will stand kind of far away. I don't love it. But I think it's just because we're kind of the only ones doing that sort of thing right now.
I scare people.
I guess we need a further explanation on why you scare people.
Oh, just how I look. Not rapping today, but
We'll show up in like the full white face paint, like
Okay.
white foundation and like all the
black
leather.
trench coat shit,
Yeah, just do the whole 9.
chains and spikes.
It's
and
very theatrical all the time. Our pre-show ritual is putting on eyeliner
Yeah.
and trying not to fuck it up.
Yeah.
very fail every time, and that's entirely my fault because I do the eyeliner.
And then I'll try and I'll mess it up. But yeah, a lot of I think it's just we're very new to the space, and I don't think we're doing a lot of the very like punk or indie thing that a lot of people expect from like a college band. So
Where are you playing mostly?
wherever.
Like house shows or?
It's been a lot of house shows.
Roses Midwest have not made it to the Rot Spot yet.
We're hoping for that one soon.
Rot Spot, if you're hearing this,
Book us, please. No, it's a lot of house shows.
we just played for Oracle DIY's first show.
That was cool.
We hope they let us come back.
They're great. It's like all covered in tapestries and stuff,
Yeah,
and
it's
like
so
scarves.
gorgeous.
These beautiful light fixtures. It's incredible. Very like
If you were not there for their first show,
you
you
should
should be there for the next one because they, first of all, very nice people.
Great.
A couple of the girls from Bachelorette run it, as well as some of the people from Blossom Rot, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So they're super sweet, and they're really good at decorating.
Yeah.
Nice.
We end up playing a lot of the college house show scene.
Yeah.
Just kind of that. Yeah.
Where's your favorite location you've played in?
The
Oracle.
Oracle? Yeah.
It makes so much sense for us. It's a big stage. We can kind of move around a lot more
It's
than we've
beautiful.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's got this like sideshow kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's just very
gorgeous.
like whimsical. It's the perfect vibe for what we like to do.
I can't speak for the other members, but
Or Your Brother's Bookstore in Evansville. That was a fun one. It's
Yeah,
just
if you're ever in Evansville, not even in like a show, I think you should just go there.
it's a really cool.
It's a good bookstore.
It's a good
Nice.
bookstore, and it's kind of cool to play in a bookstore as a band that takes a lot of like, I don't know. I take a lot of literary influences when it comes to lyrics and stuff.
And the ice cream shop that's like next door is really good.
It is very
Nice.
good.
Well, do they play music shows often at the bookstore?
I from what I've seen, I think they do
Yeah,
fairly often.
You're welcome to plug the bookstore.
Yeah.
I am.
What's
I am
the name of
plugging
what is the name of the
Your
bookstore?
Brother's Bookstore.
Oh, it's Your Brother. Okay, I literally thought it was Your Brother's Bookstore.
No.
It is literally called Your Brother's
Oh, okay.
Bookstore. I don't
Yeah.
know anybody in Evansville.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you book that show? I was
Um,
gonna ask that question, but then I thought it was Your Brother's Bookstore.
So
No.
when
Great
no,
name though.
yeah.
no, Your Brother's Bookstore is the name of the bookstore, and so when Jaden did sound at Natural State Provisions, Tearful Warning, a emo
Emo.
band from
Evansville.
Evansville. We met them and we kind of spoke to them and we bought a sticker. That's how you get relationships. You buy their sticker.
I
Buy their
see.
merch.
Okay.
And the drummer from that band, Fenton, from what I understand, he kind of dabbles in booking shows, but they play there a lot. And we were supposed to play a show with them and this other band called Nights on Holiday and a third band who I cannot remember right now. So I'm so sorry to the other band. But the reason why the other two are relevant is because Fenton had reached out to us. We didn't end up playing that show because half of our band had got sick, so we weren't able to make it. But but Fenton had, the drummer for Tearful Warning, had reached out to us and was like, and Nights on Holiday, and they were like, Nights on Holiday was like, we didn't get to play with you this time, but like we do really want to see you guys. Like, do you want to come down and play this other one? And Fenton had helped them kind of like book this show. So Tearful Warning didn't play that show, and that was 2 weeks ago. And then Tearful Warning, Fenton and Tearful Warning had reached out and was like, I know you're actually coming down to play this show that I helped Nights on Holiday book literally like 2 weeks before this date, but do you want to come back again and play with us? And we were like, sure.
Yeah. Just a lot of like friendly connections and just kind of making friends with people we thought were pretty cool.
Nice.
Now about song creation, how do y'all piece together your music, and how do you take other ideas and interweave them with what you may bring to the band?
So usually it'll start out with like a guitar part or something, or a bass part, just something like a melodic kind of motif. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
You always instrumental.
Yeah. We always start with an instrumental, and then we'll just kind of build it up from there, and then usually Salem or myself or somebody, but usually Salem, will go away and like start writing lyrics. And then we'll start piecing those two parts together, and then we'll add a couple more motifs on top of it and like build on it a little bit more until it's like a fully fledged thing. But it's a lot of like communal. It's a very communal process. A lot of it just kind of happens out of boredom and just because we're like, well, I have this thing I've been working on, like here's this like riff or this idea, and let's just kind of like do that and build on that. Yeah.
So yeah, it sounds pretty collaborative. So there's no like one person that's bringing the riffs to the table. It's not, like
It is usually Jaden, but it's not because it has to be. It
just
I mean, our bass player wrote a bass riff that is in one of our songs, and our keyboard players wrote a song. But it is, I mean, most of the songs that we have were because Jaden wrote a riff, but I think that's just,
The way it worked out.
yeah.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the song that you all released?
Oh, Chris.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So before we moved down here, well, I haven't moved here yet, but before the band moved down here, we were in Jaden's room at her mom's house. I had to go to work in like an hour, so I was very, very pressed for time, to be honest. And she was like, I wrote this. Can you listen to it? And I was like, I mean, yeah. So I did. I was not late to work, so it's all good. But
No harm, no foul.
yeah, she is. She played like the riff, the like swing riff. That, and this was I think this was the only song that's ever been written this way. But so she wrote it, and then she had a couple lyrics, and then I completely changed most of the lyrics. I think, well, the entire second verse is the original entire second verse. That wasn't changed.
And I
but
think most of the chorus is the same.
yeah, the entire chorus and the entire second verse and the bridge are the same, but I changed a lot of the first verse. And, yeah.
And then,
And then some little changes, but Crucifix has mostly stayed the same since the beginning.
yeah, it was like the first month of being a band, and we wrote that, and then we sent a demo to the rest of what had currently been the band.
And then her brother said, "Can you please shut up?"
Yeah, and so I stopped, and then
And I went to work.
Salem went to work, and then I just started figuring out some more guitar parts, and then we brought it to the whole band. They had listened to it a little bit, and then it was just kind of like done in one night for the most part, and it was ready to like play live. And we played it our first show, and we played a couple other songs that have kind of remained during our first show, and then after that, the song just kind of naturally progressed and developed as we all became more comfortable with the song and more familiar with it, and honestly kind of bored.
It's the only song that was written and then made like separately.
Yeah, it's the only one where it like has like one or two primary people involved in it. Yeah, the rest of it's all like very group oriented.
Yeah, you had said when you moved to Bloomington and your sound has evolved, would you say that Crucifix is a good representation of Final Girl, or do you feel like your
No.
music has evolved quite a bit
It's such a weird like time capsule of a song.
The song Crucifix has not evolved with us.
No, it's the only one that has kind of stayed close to a lot of our very primary and very early influences. We'd been listening to a lot of cabaret punk and a lot of the literal musical
I could pull up
cabaret.
the playlist. That was
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it just became sort of a thing. And we were like, well, let's try this for one thing. And so we tried it, and the song has not changed really at all since. It's just most of those very early sound, and I don't think if the song had been written now, it would not be at all the same.
Here's some of the songs that were on the playlist when it was made. So there's Girl Anarchism by the Dresden Dolls. There's a couple songs off of Panic at the Disco's first album, A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. There's a few Misfits songs. That was definitely our old bassist. He's a big Misfits guy. There's some 50 Seconds to Mars. That was our old drummer. He was a big, like, 90s, 2000s alt metal. Like, that was kind of his thing. There's a couple Typo Negative
Yeah, but it's
and a little bit of System of a Down, but that was the inspiration playlist at the time, as well as Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. So that was
a
kind
ghost.
that was kind of what was on the playlist when that song was written. But I
Okay.
don't think that would be our playlist now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't really. It's a lot more metal and like post-hardcore than
Yeah.
we've really
And-
ever been
And
since.
goth influence. So.
Yeah, a lot of the sound has changed since then, and I don't think it's one of those songs that could ever really be done now
Yeah.
with our current lineup and just who we are as people.
Yeah.
When was Crucifix recorded?
Crucifix was recorded in
Like October,
mm,
I think it was
Maybe
October.
Late October, maybe November.
Yeah, with
Because I had just dyed my hair.
yeah, it was with a member of the band Hey Calypso who had engineered the song, and it was just kind of like we need to play more shows, and I don't know how to get more shows besides releasing music. So yeah, we decided that was the song that was probably ready.
The most developed. And also, I don't think it fits really the direction that we're going in. So if we record it now, then we can part with it almost.
Release it as a single
Yeah.
and move on to
Yeah.
Yeah.
It and a lot of the other songs, if they're ever released, are really just a time capsule of what we were for like that first 4 months as a band, and then never really were after we moved.
It's a good experience to get it down. And, you know, has that been y'all's first experience recording, or?
As a band, yes.
Yeah.
And personally, I think yes for several of the people.
It was not my first time recording. I do a lot of session work for a lot of my friends, and the old band I had been in had recorded a couple songs. So it was not my first time in a studio environment, but it was my first time doing like that kind of production, less pop-oriented production, which was really cool. Try out.
Holding on to something dead before the pulpit. Please forgive me. Fell apart at the seams. Holding on to something dead before the pulpit. Please forgive me. Fell apart at the seams. Holding on to something dead before the pulpit. Please forgive me. Fell apart at the seams. Holding on to something dead before the pulpit. Please forgive me. Forgive me.
So you said you do a lot of session recording. Do you do guitar during your session recordings, or?
Actually, I play a lot of bass.
Okay, I was gonna ask about gear, how it was different, but it sounds like it's way different.
Yeah, it's very different. I get hired more as a bass player and as like a banjo and mandolin player, and oddly enough, like lap steel. So I end up playing
Nice.
on a lot of country and like folk and pop records more than anything.
Okay.
So yeah, that's been interesting. But gear wise, beyond that, it is very different. I don't really run a pedal board or anything with that, even when I'm playing guitar. It's just they want the cleanest sound possible so that they can
Mhm.
do whatever they want to it.
Yep.
It's really just like a bass layer, which is very different than what I'm used to.
Yeah. What are you used to? How do you set up for Final Girl?
I have a pedal board, like this like line,
Podgo.
yeah, this like Podgo, like these like a really bad Line 6 copy. Yeah, like a Line 6 Podgo that I bought used for like 200
400.
400 bucks. I spent all of my money on it because I was like, well, I'll use this and I can download sounds if I need them, but I won't need to buy like a bunch of pedals, and I won't need to keep a bunch of pedals in my dorm, and I can like save money for like tuition
And food or
and
whatever.
food and whatever else I'll need.
I guess you gotta like live.
But yeah, and I'll run like a really modded Mustang, Squire Mustang that I've like, it was like my first guitar, like my first like actual like, it's mine because I'd been borrowing like a neighbor's guitar for like my first 6 months of learning guitar. But I had modded it and I still use it a lot. I don't know how much longer I'll be using it just because it's kind of like getting beat down. But it's just this like really bad Mustang that I've just like put a bunch of money and like my heart and soul into like making it sound like good. yeah. That's kind of my gear, and then I run it into just like a cabinet.
Is that in your dorm? Nice.
It sits it sits like on top of like the wardrobe they give you, and I don't touch it unless I need it. I just plug right into my laptop usually, so I don't get a noise complaint.
Yep.
Yeah.
So does the practice room, do they have everything set up in there, or do you have to carry like your cabinet and all that down to
We
the
have-
practice space?
We have to carry all of our gear down to
Yeah.
the practice space.
I have a drum though.
They have
Oh,
an
they have a
electric,
drum.
yeah, they have an electric drum set and an acoustic drum set that I think somebody just like left there and forgot. So we use like the shells from that, and our keyboardist brings his snare and his cymbals so that our drummer has those, and then we just, yeah.
Dropping stuff over here.
So do you have any shows coming up?
Not right now. I think,
Hire us.
yeah. Please, we need money for gas.
No, not right now. Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Check our Instagram.
I don't know.
Yeah. What is your Instagram?
It's
Final underscore
underscore
girl dot band.
And that's the best way for people to see what's
Yeah.
coming
Yeah.
up with Final Girl?
It's the best way.
We also have a TikTok, but if I remember to post on it,
And if it doesn't get taken down
again,
again,
Again.
we don't have anything else at the time being. So if you don't have Instagram, get one for us.
I don't know. Yeah, there's that. Yeah, that's kind of the best way to stay in touch with what we're doing. I think for right now, just because we keep on getting booked for like these like 3 weeks or like 4 weeks, we'll have a show like every Saturday, and then we're like, okay, time to like take a step back. So I think we're gonna take a step back and just focus on writing some more material and recording some stuff.
I mean, if anyone asks us to play,
Yeah, we'll play.
I don't think we'll be hosting anything though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not gonna put together any bills for a little while, just because I think everybody wants to take a step back, just so we can focus on recording and getting stuff together.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to put together a tour for the summer, just because
Nice.
nothing better to do.
Yeah, it's really hard to focus on sets and writing at the same time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a nightmare.
Yeah. So what does a tour look like? What is your goal for that this summer?
We made a bunch of friends through Running Sound and just like having a bit of an online presence. And we've had a bunch of people like reach out and be like, hey, you should come here or here or here. Just because I guess there's not really that many like goth bands around these days, especially in the Midwest, which I guess makes sense. So we'll get asked to play places just by like random people, and we're like, well, we should probably do that at some point. And everybody, since we're all like college students, we're like, well, we have like 3 months free,
Yeah.
so let's just do that for like a couple weeks, and then
How far do you plan on going in this
Just the Midwest.
Midwest?
just the
tour?
Midwest. I think the farthest out we're going is St. Louis, and
Nice.
then we're coming back around through Ohio,
Very cool.
Or something like that.
something like that. It's not all planned out yet.
Okay.
It's exciting.
It was supposed to be secret.
We'll cut this.
If you heard this part, you didn't. No, but it'll be a pretty small thing, and then we'll go home, start the next semester,
And take a big nap.
take a big nap.
Nice.
We're about wrapping up on time. Do you have any final thoughts or anything you'd like to let the fans know?
Stream Bleeder's new E EP.
Stream Bleeder's new
Yes.
EP. Oh, Subcutaneous, so good. I'm a huge fan of Bleeder, just through and through. They're really good friends.
Go to the Oracle DIY.
Go to more shows.
Yeah, go to more shows, but also go to the Oracle because it's cool.
It's cool.
And I love Bachelorette. They're
That's
so
what's cool.
they're like literally the sweetest people ever, I think, in the whole world. They're so nice
Yeah.
and fashionable.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've done a podcast with them yet, but you should.
you should. They're really cool. Yeah, just engage with your community. Do something that makes you feel better about what you're doing right now.
Live, laugh,
Stream
and
crucifix.
love.
Live, laugh, love, stream crucifix.
Text your grandma if you have one.
Text your grandma if you have one. Call your mom.
Did you say text or hex?
Text.
Okay.
Don't hext your grandma.
Don't hex your grandma. She doesn't deserve it. Or maybe she does. I don't know.
If she does, I guess do what you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah, do what you want, man. Yeah.
Oh, our keyboardist wanted us to mention that our name comes from the trope, the final girl in horror, which is misogynistic and bad. But it's okay.
Because there's like 3 feminine people in the band and it's supposed to be satire. So like,
I mean, you named it.
yeah, I named it.
There were not 3.
I was the
women
final
named
girl
it,
in that
but-
band.
No, it was Ryan.
Oh, true.
Forgetting our lore.
I am forgetting our lore.
It was Ryan because somebody was being like kind of weird and transphobic. So I said, no, actually Ryan's the final girl because he is the most masculine member of the band, and it was funny.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ryan.
Shout out to Ryan. But yeah, I mean, listen to music, go to shows, hang out, stream our music, of course.
Stream Bleeder.
Stream Bleeder,
I don't.
support local art. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Shout out to our friends, Early Grey, Bachelorette, and Bleeder, and Hey Calypso.
Hey Calypso and Lotus Garden and
Yeah.
yeah. And thank you guys
Conflict
for
of
having
Interest
us.
and
Yeah.
Cascade.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Thank you, Salem. Thank you, Jaden. Thanks for representing Final Girl.
Yes. Thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Noise and Nonsense Podcast. If you are interested in being a guest, email us at noiseandnonsensepodcast@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.